All right, girls, so what we are gonna do today is I've looked at our data and we need a little bit of a review on some of our just basic convention skills before we get into our standardized testing in the next couple of weeks. So I pulled up one of our 5-a-days. We normally use them as bell work, but instead today we're just going to use this as our review, okay? All right, so let's start with our first one. We are talking about verb moods. So you are gonna identify both the verb and its mood in this sentence. So the sentence we're going to be working with is look both ways before crossing the street. Look both ways before crossing the street. What does that sound like? A command. Do you guys remember which verb mood we said were commands? Why is imperative verb mood a command? What did we say we had to think about when we were drawing the connection between imperative and commands? Do you remember that like little play on words we used? I said, it is imperative that you do what I'm telling you to do, right? Because it's so important. That's exactly right. So if something is important enough to be told to do something, then it's a command. So it's going to be imperative mood. In this sentence, we kind of skipped to the second part here. What's the verb in this sentence? Look, exactly. Look both ways before crossing the street. Very good. So you guys can go on and write down this sentence is going to be imperative. We've got that verb at the very beginning of the sentence because it's so important, right? It is imperative that they look both ways before crossing the street. Good deal. Very good. All right. We're going to do just some simple proofreading in our next one. We're just going to proofread our sentence below, and then we're going to rewrite it the correct way, okay? So our sentence says, the girls, they could have stopped by if we have known they were in the neighborhood. The girls, they could have stopped by if we had known they were in the neighborhood. Try to take a second and just think about what we need to do to fix that sentence. And whenever you've got something, just raise your hand. What are we thinking, Lily Mae?
The letter T and B, the very beginning of the sentence, is not capitalized.
That's like the most basic thing in the entire world, right? We've got to capitalize the first letter of our sentence, so very good. We would capitalize T, so y'all can go ahead and write that down on your papers. At the very beginning, we're going to capitalize. What's the next thing it looks like we need to do? We can just move from left to right if you want to.
They is necessary.
All right, we've got two things. So first off, Andrea and Hallie, you guys are saying that they is unnecessary. The girls, they could have stopped by. Why do y'all say they is unnecessary?
Because it's already talking about the girls.
Right.
They
They is
is the
the girls. We already have our subject right here with the girls. So do we need to have two subjects in the sentence? Mm-hmm. There's no reason for that. So we can just use the girls. We'll just use the noun instead of the pronoun, right? Because the noun is just more concise there. Mm-hmm. All right, now, what was it you were saying, Greenlee, about could have? Could with a VE. We've got to watch ourselves, right? Because we are from Middle Tennessee and we tend to have a little bit of a country accent. And sometimes that makes us lazy writers on accident. It messes us up on accident. So we have could of, but it's really not could of. Even though we say it like that, it's could of the contraction with which word? Could and have. Good. So there you can either put could have or like Greenlee suggested, the could apostrophe VE. Good. The girls, we took out they, could have stopped by if we had known they were in the neighborhood. Is there anything else we need to do with this sentence?
No.
Nothing else. I want y'all to look one more time.
Oh.
There is not a period. There we go. That's the last thing we've got to make sure we do is we've got to put that period at the end of the sentence. But other than that, the rest of the sentence sounds fine. If we had known they were in the neighborhood, that's all proper and good to go. All right. We're going to skip 3 and 4 for right now just because I really want to get to what an antonym is down here, okay? The antonyms are something that we are messing up with just a little bit in class, and that's something that we're more likely to see in the next couple of weeks on our standardized tests than the definition of a student. We're not going to be asked for definitions. on these tests. So let's go on and look for the antonym in number 5. It says choose the antonym for the following word. And the word is debonair. Debonair. Do you guys know what the definition of debonair is? What is it, Greenlee? Charming. Very good. That's a hard one to know the definition of. Very good. So she's right. The definition of debonair is charming. So knowing that, which one is going to be the antonym?
Yeah,
Well, what does antonym mean, Andrea?
like the opposite of the meaning.
That's right, the opposite. So obviously it's not going to be charming. That would be the synonym, right? Smooth. I don't think that's smooth. Smooth and charming are more like what? Synonyms, right? Diligent. That's more like you're hardworking and you're on task, right? So then awkward would absolutely be correct. That is going to be our antonym. Do you guys have any questions about what we did today? No questions? All right, cool. I want you guys to save this. I want y'all to put it in the bell work section of your binders whenever we get back into our big room with the rest of our class, okay? And that way, tomorrow, I'm going to put this same bell work up for us again, all right? And I want you guys to take the lead on teaching it tomorrow when we get in class. Does that sound good? All right, good deal. Thank y'all, girls.